when somebody is coming from maternity break, it's at least a 6 months break, could be a year, could be 2 years, depending on how you've decided to define your break. It's a pretty long time. Couple of things I would always recommend somebody to do is, one, always remember you're joining a new place after that. Even if you're coming to the same job, same company, you are joining a new place, because a lot of power equations would have changed, some colleagues would have changed, work situation could have changed. It is unfair to expect that they'll receive you just the way it is. You will have to start and restart on certain things, and it's okay. They are not being biased about you. Come mentally prepared for that. Second, little more, maybe being a mother, I can say that is that nobody can replace you as a mother back home. But you have to stop fretting about it. You have to put your support system together, whatever it is, and then trust it. That support system can never replace you, and hence you do have a room once you go home. Okay, so I have few points here which we can talk about. I have been talking about it with my colleagues in the past as well. One biggest piece which I have seen is, please ask for help. It's okay to say I need help. It doesn't make you look weak, it doesn't make you look lesser, it doesn't make you look not capable. It only makes you look confident and self-aware of how you are leveraging your network and how you're working with them. Very important. Whether you're at home, whether you're in office, remember to ask for help. And it does not mean that somebody will do your job, but how to enable you. Second, there is no one fine day. There is nothing which you will do this and then you will do this and then this will happen. After this you will go and do this. I often hear my colleagues talk about it. There is no one fine day. The world will continue moving. There is no way of knowing what will happen after what. So ensure that you have done or you are doing what you want to do. Don't wait for some nirvana moment. It doesn't happen. Third thing is networking opportunities. It's very important to network, and networking doesn't mean going out in an evening and having drinks with set of people. Networking throughout the day, throughout when you're talking to people, you can in fact network during your maternity break as well. It is basically being relevant and staying on top of mind with people. It could be small conversations, it could be small meeting, it could be doing something little for them. So that when your time comes and when you need that help, you are able to leverage it. You are there as a potential option with those colleagues in mind for a solution. Last is it's a personal favorite, is everything has a shelf life. Whether we are talking about books, whether we are talking about tools, whether we are talking about relationships. So remember to make the most of it. Don't leave or don't ignore them while they are in that shelf life. See, there are many tips possible. The list can go on up from what you can do and how you can make it better for yourself. I recently came across the book How Women Rise. It has been written by Sally Helgeson and Marshall Goldsmith. Very good book. We in fact heard Marshall talk about it also. Great tips. So, if you're somebody who likes to believe in the learning from the books, I would fully recommend and endorse it to read it. So, make your own choices on what works for you. Gender bias. Okay, so there are two ways of looking at it. I believe that you cannot go and you can, even if you stand at the top of the rooftop and shout, this is how to think, this is how to say, no, this is wrong. I've seen a lot of these social media posts. You cannot force people to think differently. All of us come through our knowledge and our own learning curve to change. So that process is important. There are people and you also need to control it. But the biggest limitation or the biggest person who is the culprit of this gender bias is you yourself. Only when you believe you lack something is when that point rests with you. So let's say you have big muscles and somebody says, oh, you can't do this, you can't hit somebody. Say, oh, you're saying this to me. So you'll be very, very clear that you know that's not the right thing. Similarly, if somebody is saying, oh, you're a woman and hence you can't do this, you will believe it only if you believe it. It cannot happen just because somebody has passed a judgment on you. One, do not suffer from that gender bias at your end. You should be very self-aware of what you're capable and not. Two, remember to pay it forward. There would be somebody next to you who would not be as smart or as lucky as you to remember that they have to not suffer from their gender bias. Help them come out of it and ensure you are holding that hand and taking them along with you. That's when it multiplies as a society. Organizations are doing a lot of things depending on the audience and kind of employees the organizations have. You can, if you are in a manufacturing sector versus services sector versus banking sector versus IT sector, the nature of job and the ask from you is very different. When the ask from you is very different, then the support that company has to give you will also change. And I think in pockets they are doing it. The fact that they are recognizing that there is this very talented pool which is not getting harnessed because of some biases and gaps in the way we tend to source profiles or hire, in itself is an indicator. Talking from my experience, I took a break. I am one of those mothers who took a break and then went back after I thought I was ready. Is that the best thing that happened to me was that my employer did not treat me differently. I was not a woman who is returned back to work. It was what I was capable of doing and what was my commitment and what help I needed. Just like any other employee. So if I needed something, I was getting it, but not under any specific tag. Learn to ask for that help. You actually won't need initiatives. So that will be my say to it.